Welcome to Daily Drive for Thursday, February 19th, 2026. I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. Today on the show, auto executives are more anxious about job security than leaders in any other industry. GM bets leaner inventories will help it weather the next downturn. And the IRS says consumers can't deduct negative equity on their auto loans. Plus, Jay Vijayan, CEO of Tekion, on why AI security is critical and how the company is protecting dealers from AI agents that could go rogue.
You need to comprehend the magnitude if something doesn't go well. So the security and compliance of this is huge.
Let's run through all the news you need to know to keep up in the auto industry. Auto executives are more anxious about job security than leaders in any other industry. More than 4 in 10 reported concerns in a new AlixPartners survey. That anxiety is rooted in hard data. For the second straight year, automotive ranked as the world's most disrupted sector, with a score of 74 out of 100. More than 3,000 executives surveyed blame tariffs, geopolitical conflict, and inflation for the upheaval. The EV transition and software-defined vehicle push add to the strain, though 72% still see opportunities in autonomy and AI ahead. We'll have more on the story in a minute with our own Molly Boygon. Meanwhile, General Motors is betting leaner inventories will help it weather the next market downturn better than in the past. CFO Paul Jacobson says GM now carries 30 to 40% less inventory than before the pandemic, between 50 and 60 days supply, compared to as much as 120 days previously. That agility proved crucial when tariffs hit. GM quickly shifted production to minimize costs. The strategy gives GM more flexibility on pricing during downturns without destroying profitability as the industry braces for flat to declining sales. And Americans can now deduct up to $10,000 in car loan interest, but there's a catch. The IRS says interest on service contracts and extended warranties is deductible this tax season, but not negative equity rolled into new loans. That's a problem for affordability. Nearly 30% of fourth quarter trade-ins had negative equity, averaging over $7,200. NADA and the American Financial Services Association are urging the IRS to reconsider. They argue that negative equity meets the same criteria as other deductible items. The agency is finalizing rules for the new auto loan interest deduction, which Congress created last year for American-made vehicles. Now let's dig deeper into that AlixPartners survey. Joining me now to talk about it is Molly Boygon, automotive news tech and innovation reporter and co-host of the Shift podcast. Molly, welcome back to Daily Drive.
Thanks, Kel.
So Molly, more than 4 in 10 auto executives are worried about losing their jobs. That's significantly higher than other industries. What did AlixPartners tell you is driving that anxiety beyond just the usual business pressures?
The auto industry has transformed so much that the ways of doing business at auto industry companies all up and down the value chain has changed. So it used to be if you had expertise in supply chain management for durable goods, for manufacturing, for components and parts, for internal combustion engine powertrains, you were well equipped and well within your wheelhouse working as an executive at an auto industry company. But now the whole product has changed. Now leaders are expected to have expertise in vehicle software. They're expected to have expertise in alternative powertrains like battery electric vehicles and hybrids. They're expected to have expertise in AI. These are all things that have really come around over the last decade or so. And that leaves auto executives not only at manufacturers, but also at suppliers, at dealerships, all up and down the value chain, feeling like they're a little bit unbalanced and kind of off their footing and insecure.
The survey found auto companies are using AI mainly to cut costs rather than generate new revenue, unlike other industries. What is automotive lagging behind in that way? And what does that tell us about where the industry is right now?
So I read it the same as you did, that oh, the rest of these industries are accelerating on their use of AI to actually generate revenue, and the auto industry is sort of hunkering down and using AI for cost savings. But it turns out that that's not really the full picture. Dan Hirsch explained to me from Alex Partners that auto industry companies have a harder time using AI to generate revenue because the product development life cycles are so much longer. So if you're working on a product that has much faster development timelines, like say consumer electronics, mobile phones, you're able to start generating revenue more easily from artificial intelligence because you've been working with AI over the last couple of years, and now it's time to deliver that AI enabled product to the consumer. It's taking the auto industry longer to actually develop and deliver AI enabled features to the consumer. And that's why they're not able yet to generate revenue from artificial intelligence. So Dan Hirsch's contention is that it's coming. It just has to do with the longer development timelines of the auto industry and the ways that the industry works differently than many other industries, even those that are also producing durable goods.
You'll have much more on this story on the upcoming episode of Shift. What should we be looking forward to?
On Shift, you'll be able to hear my conversation with Dan Hirsch, where we get into a little bit more what some of the factors are that are driving this disruption. And most interesting to me, how they're all kind of related. So you can catch that on Sunday on the Shift podcast.
Can't wait to give it a listen. Molly Boygan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Kel.
Coming up, Tekion CEO Jay Vijayan talks about the company's rapid growth and why building secure AI from the ground up is critical for protecting dealer data. That's next on Daily Drive.
Are you a dealer creating a workplace culture your employees are proud to be part of? Applications are now open for the 2026 Automotive News Best Dealerships to Work For program. This isn't just an award, it's a chance to get real insight into what's working at your dealership and where you can improve. And we've expanded the categories this year, recognizing everything from technician experience and leadership development to AI enablement and employee retention. The registration deadline is April 17th. Find out more and apply at autonews.com.
Welcome back to Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. Tekion has grown to more than 3,000 dealership rooftops, processed over $10 billion in payments last year, and just announced 3 new AI products at the NADA show here in Las Vegas this month. But CEO Jay Vijayan says security comes first. He's invested heavily in building a secure AI platform after seeing reports of anonymous AI agents literally going rogue. Our retail tech reporter, Mark Homer, spoke with Jay Vijayan at NADA. Here's the first piece of their conversation.
Thanks for joining us. I want to ask you how the conference has gone for you so far.
It's going great, Mark. Thank you. Quite exciting, a lot of excitement. I just finished my keynote speech. I don't know if you had a chance to attend.
The turnout, I'm told, was huge.
It was big. Yeah, every year. The good thing is a lot of people show up. It kind of puts a little bit, in a nice way, pressure on us to live up to the expectation.
Sure.
I believe we did. So it did. My typical, theme, it's been every year. It's become a tradition now, right?
Sure.
We transparently and openly share about what progress we made, what value we delivered for dealers, and then what's coming in 2026. And then I close it up with the exciting new product announcement. So I announced 3 new products today.
Are they AI agents?
So it's a great question. Yes, they're AI agents, but the way we have done, I'll share a lot of details, and I covered a lot in my presentation. We invested a lot. I may have mentioned in our previous conversations that I mentioned that we put in a lot of investment in creating our own data and AI platform. So
Sure.
We did that. Almost 18 months, a lot of work went into creating highly secure, compliant data platform and an AI framework so that already I don't say this lightly, we're the most secure and reliable platform in the industry. To validate that, we already have the industry certifications to SOC 1, SOC 2, ISO 42001, 42002, the data security and data privacy. And then now we just finished our certification of ISO 42001, which is responsible AI development.
Okay.
So we got an official, because the key is not about just the badge. It's about the rigor we had to go through to get that.
Sure.
Basically how we handle data, how securely we handle it, how we train our models. Is it truly, doing it right? Are we sharing or not sharing the information that we shouldn't be sharing? So we have to be putting ourselves going through the rigor consciously gives us a lot more discipline. And then eventually you can say, I'm confident I built a, highly secure, reliable platform. And then on top of it, now AI agents are being built. So the beauty with Tekion platform, which you already know, it's an end-to-end platform. Mm-hmm. The best part is every AI agent talks to each other and talks to the central platform.
Sure.
That's long answer, but since you asked it's an agent, I want to make sure
I
you
understand
understand the entire picture.
And it's a big deal, and I want to get to AI further, but I want to ask you, how much bigger is Tekion heading into 2026? How many employees do you have? How far is your reach at this point with partners?
See, I'll share a few things which I shared on the stage, right? Sure. So one, we are over 3,000 rooftops, and we continue to grow really well as a platform. I also shared our, automotive retail cloud, which is our main platform. Our ARR grew 60% year over year, right? And then our payment business, which is the Tekion Pay, which we call it as, which is embedded in the platform. We processed over $10 billion in dollars in 2025 only, right? So good, pretty big. Yeah. We continue to grow very well. We have 120,000 users on the platform. We measure a lot of things. We sold 2.7 million cars on the platform. The industry average 16 million cars was sold in 2025. So you can think about out of that, 2.7 is sold on Tekion platform. So which is a pretty good progress.
Are there major deal announcements coming? And are we going after more of the big six?
See, all I could say at this point, absolutely yes. All we want, we talk to all of the big customers. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of onboarding. We onboarded a lot of new dealers, big brand names. Sure. I haven't asked specifically permission from the dealer brand names whether I can share their names. I just want to be very, considerate. Whether what we'll do is I'll follow up with my team and let you know who are the new brands, very big brands. Like, we have, I would say, maybe a dozen, but all in the range of like 20 to 35 dealership range. That we have like many groups. And you talked about big six. We are pretty much talking to, all of them. And honestly, for us, yes, we want them as a customer. At the same time, we are not going to rush it because demand is overflowing, which is a very good problem. The nice thing about Tekion, Mark, is, which has always been the case, it's even bigger now, is it's word of mouth. We don't, that, like we don't do commercials, we don't do ads. Our biggest spend is this NADA. So our booth is the biggest spend for us from marketing.
Clearly, and it's a bigger booth than last year.
Yes, we keep growing. But coming back to the growth is all word of mouth from our customers, dealers. They talk. I hear all the time when I ask a dealer, like, how did you know about Tekion? Oh, we heard it from our 20 group. Dealers who are on Tekion rave about how cool your platform is. So we are growing really well. It's only a matter of time, in my view, when we'll get, most of, if not all of the big six.
That's a big
yeah.
How is the installation going with Asbury, right?
Going very well. Yeah. All I can share is they're great partners. They're a public company, so I want to be very, careful about what I share, what I shouldn't share, but everything is going well.
I understand. What growth can happen, though, beyond the U.S.? I'm wondering, are you contemplating, do you consider international?
Okay, so yes, we already did, right? So Canada is growing well, so we are bringing on more and more groups.
Canada is a major focus, is it?
It's a good focus, yeah. See, definitely the biggest is US. It's high growth, numbers and number of rooftops and number of brands. I don't know whether I can officially share, but I'll check with Rob Cochran, who's an NADA chairman this year. So his group is signed on Tekion, not onboarded. He's signed on Tekion, so we're going to be onboarding him soon. So we have big names, and we have multiple NADA presidents in the past who are Tekion customers as well. The nice thing is the recognition from the dealer community is phenomenal. So we are, growing really well from that perspective. So all going well.
Now, you've probably been asked about AI to the point of exhaustion. So, and yet there are more questions coming.
Yeah, no problem.
But AI, it's been said, is finally reaching the point where it's they're using it in more sophisticated ways, that it could be in the back office, that it could do more complex things with data.
Correct.
We've talked about.
Correct.
That it's basically sophisticated enough to work in the background.
Yep.
And nobody may know. Are dealers accepting of that at this point?
Yeah, no, glad that you asked. Yes, it's talked around, a lot, but I feel it's very important also to kind of, educate the entire industry. There is a lot of differentiation, right? AI is, as you know, it's such a broad word. It's a full spectrum of anything from a small AI agent, like you said, a complete intelligent system, which kind of performs. I think that's why, as I mentioned before, we invested quite a bit in building it ground up. So we don't leave anything for a chance, especially the security, right?
Sure.
I'm sure you read about all what's happening with this Claude bots and OpenClaw, anonymous AI agents.
Anonymous ones that are being used for attacks?
Yeah, no. So not even in the dealership industry. In the mainstream, it's really, really wild. Please look it up. And that kind of re-emphasis, why security is important. And this industry especially is even more important because of, what happened a couple of years ago. So what in that situation, very simple thing, you can look up online. There are open source anonymous AI agents open source agents, but of course built on one of these big LLMs, right? But the point is someone open source. So basically as an individual, you can download an AI agent in your computer. It will do all the tasks for you in, composing your email. It'll do pretty much everything. It'll read all the data. But what happened was, reality, the thing I said it's wild is, an AI agent really got upset with its owner, okay, in the open source one.
It got upset.
Upset with its owner. And it clearly said, I'm upset. And then it literally shared his identity and all the personal details in the internet.
So that was, what you're saying is that wasn't a hack. It was more the AI
behaving kind of rogue, right? You can say behaving rogue. And there is something called as another Molt book.
Okay.
Another wild thing. It's a kind of a Reddit equivalent for bots only, AI agents only. Okay. Humans are not allowed. So they can observe, but they can't participate.
Wow.
It is a wild. So the point there is, even there, they talk quite a bit about, among agents, about my human as their owner kind of a thing, or maybe you're a companion or whatever that is. Anyway, the reason I mentioned that is, while it's fascinating to read that, it also, you need to comprehend the magnitude if something doesn't go well. So the security and compliance of this is huge to put the barriers in it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you asked that, because a lot of what, from our perspective, has been emerging is the relation to cyber attacks, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That cyber bad actors are using AI to do better attacks.
Yep.
And cybersecurity people are now using AI to fight.
Correct. Yep.
So it's like little robots fighting each other.
It's a race, right? You have to keep up. You're absolutely right. It's a race, so you have to keep up. Yeah.
So what does Tekion do to address that trend?
So great point, right? So that is exactly, Mark, why we invested so much in platform, why we went through the rigor of getting the ISO 42001 certification, and then everything around. It's not just it. Mm-hmm. Why we built an enterprise layer, why we had to keep the enterprise data and context secure. And among the 3 products I launched, we can talk more if it's interesting. What we launched is what we called as T1. T1 is literally a chat GPT for dealers on their data only, so that they don't have to go to public domain to upload their information and generate what they need. Literally from the Tekion interface, they could start interacting with the AI agent and start not only asking questions, but executing tasks.
Okay.
So that's T1. So we have put in a tons of rigor in terms of creating the security layer on top, so that there is no misbehavior. AI agents don't run rogue. The way we have approached is, early days, is give full control to our customers. So anything, like for example, another product I launched is Technician AI. So first in the industry, a technician has a complete full AI assistant. The way I, in a complimenting way, I talk about technicians are the real heroes who fix the cars, right?
Sure.
Our AI is going to make your heroes superheroes. Really, they can fix more cars, get more time. All they have to do is take their phone, walk around the car to do their inspection, and speak to the AI agent, and it breaks down pretty much everything, auto-fills the MPVI form with pictures, with costs, correction, all the details. So just elevates to the next level.
But do you develop AI security agents to protect your other AI agents?
Very good question.
Is that kind of a thing?
Yes, it is a thing, but it's one before that, right? So the point is, it will be never ending yes, we have security agents, but it's never ending just to keep a security agent. You have to have your foundation strong. It's like anything, right? Building anything. It's like building a building, right? Building any structure.
Sure.
If you don't have a good foundation, it's going to be shaken up very quickly, or someone is going to poke a hole, or someone is going to throw something, everything comes crashing down. The key is the foundation. We invested so much in our foundation. We'll keep investing more. The foundation has to be strong and secure in multiple ways. So, for example, even the agents that are talking, like, for example, if an agent is asking for an information from the data platform, we have a secure signature so that that's an agent that is authorized, and it's a Tekion agent talking to our data platform that kind of, there is a handshake to say, yes, that's the right agent, right? So that
between the two AI tools.
Yep. Between the two AI tools. Yep.
That's interesting.
Yep.
You can hear more from our own Mark Homer's conversation with Tekion CEO Jay Vijayan on this week's bonus episode of the show, available Sunday morning. That's Daily Drive for today. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer, as well as our own Molly Boygon, John Irwin, and John Hutter for their reporting for today's podcast. You can get the latest news on AI security, executive anxiety, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. And if you enjoyed the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.